So this was a long time coming, but we're finally at the third episode of the Man Up quadrilogy after a decently long time waiting. Yeah, the Man Up series continues with Man Up 3, the good, the bad, and the manly, because apparently every single episode that Manboy appears in is just going to be named Man Up from now on. I guess you could say this is like this show's variation on the Caked episodes from Kids Next Door, along with a subtitle attached to it that references some sort of other better movie. I gotta knock off some points for the title card right off the bat though. Reusing the name Man Up, okay, like that's fine I guess, but reusing the same logo from Man Up 1 is just lazy, especially considering there's no 2-man in any of these episodes sans the very first one. What gives? Like, I genuinely don't understand why the Man Up episodes couldn't have gotten their own card. Like, sure, I get maybe wanting to connect them all together, but you've already got that with the name. I found the first Man Up episode to be not very good, so the second came as a decent surprise when it turned out to be much better. Can the third improve upon the mid-range bar that the second established, or does it drop the ball and line up closer to the first? Let's find out. So it's a lovely day at the Townsville Art Museum, and Manboy has decided to show up to make everything something worth looking at, his words not mine, by blasting all of the paintings and sculptures with his beard ray so that they get beards.
This painting is called The Scream. More like screaming for a beard.
I guess even the scream wasn't manly enough for him despite it being painted by a man. And is that seriously the best he can do? More like screaming for a beard? No, I'm sorry, that's just terrible. Well, he continues his rampage of destruction until the Powerpuff Girls show up and teach him a lesson in painting. That's how you execute a clever play on words, by the way.
Nothing beats man power!
Except girl power!
Huh?
Girl power? Since when did you start saying girl power?
Good job, Reboot. You just did the exact thing the original series mocked. Well, the girls and Manboy continue to go back and forth at each other, throwing punches at each other and knocking each other into walls. There's even this one gag where Manboy hits the girls into this normal painting and it becomes a more cubist one on contact. I thought that was really cool, seeing as it manages to incorporate the art style of many forms of painting while simultaneously applying the implication that it's been cracked or damaged by the girls colliding with it. That's genius in my opinion, and quite frankly that might be the smartest thing this show has ever done. Anyways, so Manboy decides to vandalize more paintings and ends up aiming his beard ray at this puppy poker match, which in turn forces Bubbles to dive in front of the ray and take the hit because she doesn't want it to be ruined. Now, a few things on this. One, those aren't puppies, those are dogs, so you're wrong. Why is Manboy going to give beards to dogs that are already hairy? Let's see, what's another question? Oh yeah, why does Bubbles have an issue with this? It's not like certain dog breeds don't already have beards. And why wouldn't Manboy just blast the painting again? She already took the hit and is down and out for the count, so it'd be real simple to just pull the trigger, Piglet.
You can't stop me, cutie. Ugh. Did I just say cutie? I gotta go take a bacon bath.
You can't stop me! So I'm just gonna leave and stop doing what I was doing instead of continuing to tarnish the artwork, which was the whole reason why I came here in the first place. Well, Blossom and Buttercup rush over to see if her sister is okay, and she wakes up to having this giant mustard-colored beard on her face, which freaks her out a little bit. Buttercup can't seem to get enough of it though, considering she's basically drooling at the sight of it. Next, they go home to see what the professor can do about this, and he basically just teaches Bubbles how to shave it off.
Just use nice, easy strokes. There, just like that.
Ooh.
I love how the professor says to do it in easy strokes, and Bubbles just removes it in one fell swoop, completely ignoring her father's advice and making this entire scene rather pointless. Could have had a nice father-daughter bonding moment, but instead it's just zing and it's done. That's really lame and very disappointing. It gets worse the next morning when we see Bubbles' beard has grown back in full and has transformed her into this gruff, meat-eating tough guy who is about as stereotyped as you can possibly imagine. randomly screaming touchdown, blatantly mistreating Blossom, doing all the work herself. Yep, sounds about right. Well, the girls tell her about Man-Boy's mayhem, so she decides to go take him down all by herself, leaving Blossom and Buttercup to sit alone at home for hours with nothing to do. That is, until Man-Boy comes flying through their bedroom window. Long story short, next we get a montage where we see Bubbles was successful at kicking out Man-Boy and taking control of his cabin, but she's also become an even worse version of him because her beard also makes her evil, I guess. I don't know if this is trying to say that manly things are pure evil, or if people with beards are evil, or what the implications are, but someone could read too deep into this if they decided to. Ah, I see. It's just ripping off Los Dos Mojos. Okay. I must compliment the color choice for these exposition frames though. It's actually pretty stylistic and kind of works as a harkening back to the art museum setting that the episode began with. Whether that was a coincidence or intentional, it's a nice detail that simultaneously adds to the mood of the episode, and it looks really nice. But yeah, I guess Man-Boy's beard functions the same way Him's revival of the Rowdy Rough Boys worked, in the sense that their confidence in masculinity determines their power, and once they are threatened, they become so weak they're basically just pathetic little babies. As it was in the kitchen, Blossom's kinda unimpressed over this whole thing, while Buttercup's just awestruck in utter amazement, going so far as to eating up Man-Boy's story and creating her own made-up ideas for what Bubbles must be like now. So Blossom and Buttercup head out with Man-Boy to go find Bubbles and fix this mess that they're in. Ordinarily, they just leave Man-Boy behind, but because his beard ray is supposedly powered by pure manly will, again, his words not mine, he tags along, seeing as Blossom or Buttercup would be unable to use it.
If I was a crazed bearded superhero bent on bearding the city, where would I go? Pantheon Patties!
Pantheon Patties!
Ah yes, of course, why didn't I think of that? Pantheon Patties. It's so obvious. Wait, Pantheon Patties? What the heck is Pantheon Patties, and why would anyone ever think to go there if they wanted to beard the city of Townsville? What makes that the special signature location of beard villainy exactly?
When you're a Roman bosom, the grub, get the grip on that hunger and go to Pantheon Parties tonight.
Conveniently located next to the lumberyard.
Ah, so it's just Little Caesars, except not due to copyright. And I guess this is a location of interest because a statue of a made-up mascot is the perfect target for blasting with a beard ray? Well, okay, I guess. Anyways, the trio of Blossom, Buttercup, and Man-Boy intercept Bubbles before she's able to blast the fast food chain with the ray, and the sisters duke it out with each other while Man-Boy just kinda curls up in the corner and hides because, well, he's a coward.
I'm a bear!
You know, it's funny. It looks more like a dog than a bear to me, and quite frankly, the fact that the episode had to tell me that it was supposed to be a bear in order for me to be able to make that distinction kinda indicates that it's not a very well-defined bear at all, and could have been designed better to illustrate that that's what it was supposed to be. I mean, it's kinda sad, really. The fact that the episode is just blatantly saying, hey look, this is supposed to be a bear, we realize you can't really tell that it is, but trust us, it's a bear. Well, that aside, Bubbles is ultimately victorious because the Powerpuff Girls can almost never win a fight on their own, so they need to rely on somebody else to do the work for them. Yeah, I feel like we've seen this in like 60 other episodes at this point. In this case, it's Man-Boy, who Blossom gives this incredible motivating speech to about how it doesn't matter what you are, anyone can be tough. It's a good speech, well delivered, and relevant to the situation, and it also pushes Man-Boy to regain his confidence and go retake the beard ray from Bubbles. Well, he sneaks into the lumberyard, finds the ray, and encounters Bubbles in an attempt to take revenge for what she did to him earlier.
I've come for my beard ray, and to take you down.
It seems the beard is now on the other foot.
Shouldn't it be the other chin? Who grows a beard on their foot? Wouldn't it have made more sense for her to say chin? Whatever, the two proceed to initiate a beard battle, again, the episode's words, not mine, which is ultimately just still frames of the two of them shouting a different kind of beard with each strike they attempt to make on each other. You know, Blossom, Buttercup, you guys could do something right now. Maybe help him out a bit, give him some assistance so he can save your sister. It's not like there's something restricting them. They got out of the hairball off screen and are freely just floating there. Do something. In the end, it doesn't even matter, so it becomes a beard arm wrestling match with Manboy ultimately triumphing over Bubbles thanks to the extra push of support he gets from Blossom cheering him on. Bubbles is turned back to normal, the day is saved, and Manboy attempts to take all the credit for himself.
You girls were all like, oh, help me, I'm so scared. I need the help of a big, strong man.
And if that wasn't what just happened then, I'd be seriously disappointed in this episode. Glad it decides to shut him up instead of letting him just walk away victorious and gloating. And that's Man Up 3. Surprisingly, I didn't hate it as much as I thought I would. I think it's probably better than 1 but worse than 2, seeing as it did give us more insight into what Manboy's character is really like, even if it is a little flat and stereotyped. I also like how we finally get to see a situation where a villain character ends up teaming up with the girls in order to save the day because of a stronger threat, while also keeping it clear that the two sides, i.e. the girls and Manboy, have completely different motives in all of this. It's got a decent message at the end that is relevant to the events of the episode instead of just being thrown in there for no real reason, and while there are certainly still some flaws present, it's not as messy as the first one. So I guess that leaves the question of where the fourth Man Up will align amongst the other 3. I'm sure we'll find out eventually, but there are other episodes that need to be covered first. See you next time, guys.